San Antonio Pullers, right? And he's 65 years old today. Makes him the oldest one here. And no, that's only joking. And good long life and happiness and good health.
Author is, we have 3 dentists on one team, and so we've nicknamed our club the San Antonio Molars. And Art is, and Linkow and myself are all practicing implantology. So we're all, if anybody needs any work, we're handing out cards at the end of the day.
Okay, Art, would you continue standing? Gene, where are you? Gene, I'm toasting you. Congratulations on your 52nd birthday. 64 is fine. I know. All right. Let's sing a happy birthday to both of you. All right, ready? 1, 2, 3, go. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Arnold. Happy birthday to you. Very good. There have been a number of people who have asked me for the schedule for tomorrow. In the AM game at Harmon Stadium, Bakersfield plays San Antonio. In the afternoon game, Albuquerque plays Sarasota, and Vero Beach plays Great Falls. I don't know where I'm just giving you the game. I thought I was doing well on that. Now, I would like to go over a couple of rules that I've heard have been misinterpreted, and I've heard that there have been a few rules broken out there without my knowledge. First of all, I didn't get a chance to really talk to our fellow who does all that hard work over in the batting cages, and is one of my supervisors, one of the fellows you have to go through for any complaints, Duke Snyder. But Duke, there are no metal bats used. No metal bats used in this game at all, except in the metal in the cages. That's all. Now, to the managers, and I'm sure this rule has not been broken yet, but I've had a couple of complaints. Managers, make sure your lineup begins with the man after the man that made the last out in the game before. I heard there was a complaint today, but I checked. Mr. Brock asked me to check, and I did, and Warren Spahn's team was correct. Now, I would like to review for you people, because there was a controversy out there today, a couple of base running rules. A ball that the catcher drops, or a ball that goes into the dirt, the runner on any base may advance at his own risk. Now, if, and I've noticed this out there, if a runner takes advantage of the no stealing rule and takes a real big lead off, or if it is a hit and run, if the catcher catches the ball cleanly and throws the ball to either first base or whatever base it may be, before the runner returns, he is out. Billy?
Yeah, too late.
No, Billy, I watched your game all the way through. There was no protest. Thank you anyway. I got to say that Frank Robinson today, and I got to compliment him, he was right on the ball on the rule. He was right on top of it. It may be a bad rule, but it's our rule. Tomorrow night is our big, I've lost control. Hold it. Tomorrow night is our big cookout. It's out by the pool. We have a weather forecast that it's going to be very cold out there. But let me suggest this. We have a roaring fire out there. We want everybody, if it's too cold, to huddle around that fire, dress warmly, and have a big night, because this, let me tell you, this is one of our big nights. This is an excellent meal. We have steaks. We have a lot of good food out there, a lot of good hors d'oeuvres beforehand, drinks, everything out there, and it's one of our big nights. So hopefully the weather will be good for us. But if it is cold, bundle around the fire. All right, let's get into the games today. The morning game. And so far, this game this morning was one of the biggest thrillers of the whole camp. You've got to say it was an outstanding, a great comeback by the Billy Williams Vero Beach Club. For you people that don't know, they scored 2 runs in the top of the 9th inning to go ahead. But I've got to say this, Frank Robinson, calm, cool, collected over there in the dugout, sat there, waited, and his team, the Sarasota team, came back to win without anybody out. No outs in the bottom of the 9th inning to win the ball game. So you got to give him a lot of credit. To present the Potato Head Award. And I don't know if you fellas know how much goes into this Potato Head Award. We spend hours. Frank told you about it going over in his room the other night, how long it took him to pick the Potato Head Award winner. We do this every night, and we go over and they have a tough time. They get all their guys together and go over this whole thing. And tonight, to present the Potato Head Award, is the pitching coach for the Vero Beach Club. Now, I'm not going to say anything about what he's done out here in the last couple of years as a manager and a pitching coach. But I want all of you to know, and I think most of you know this, this guy was one of the greatest pitchers in the history of the Dodgers. And the big thing about him, he took the ball. He went out there every time it was his turn to pitch. He was never out. He went out there. Don Drysdale.
Thank you, Guy. It's really not a thrill because we're 0-2, to be very honest with you. And Billy just told me it is now the ex-pitching coach of the Vero Beach Ball Club.
Okay.
No more. He said he's going to take it over himself. But we did. We had a good game. We kind of found out a little bit what yesterday was like when we jumped out, and we had a chance to jump on top. We came back. We got beat yesterday. But we fell behind a little bit today, but our guys battled back and did a hell of a job and battled through. I think the adversity, it was cold out there, guys, and I know all of you, we all went through it. Well, I'm just saying that about all of you. Because we had an early game and we went home, that's all. But I think it was great that everybody battled through everything, and I think that our ball club has got a good ball club. And they're going to turn around and they're going to come back and they're going to win some ball games. So just don't get your daubers down. And if the thing to remember, if you're going to get beat, take some son of a bitch with you, baby. That's all I can say. Just make them feel it, that's all. So the ones that we've already played should thank their lucky stars that we don't play them again. But we had a gentleman out there today that really did a good job. You know, it's funny, when we looked in the lineup as far as picking pitchers, there really weren't that many. But all of a sudden, I'm sure that every manager and coach has the same thing, that as we go along, someone says, well, I'll try it, I'll try it, I'll try it. Well, we had a guy that tried it today and really did a great job. And not only did he come up with a little fastball going this way, he come up with Spawny's little deep cutting curve, the Charlie Dressen theory about how to throw a curveball. And he got people out. He put us ahead at the time, got a base hit, drove in the tying run at that time and the go-ahead run, but it didn't hold. We managed to figure out a way to walk 5 in a row in the 9th to lose it. But Mr. Hahn, Mr. John Hahn, you're our Potato Head Award, man.
I just had a telegram handed to me from President Reagan. He said, congratulations. This is Abraham Lincoln's birthday, and that Warren Spahn pitched against him. Is there any truth to that, Warren? I got that.
He's a low ball hitter.
He said he's a low ball hitter.
It went 3 for 4, didn't it?
Never got the ball of the infield.
Presenting the Potato Head Award for the Sarasota Club is a man who's a former Oakland A's and Yankee pitching star. This is a man that never pitched in the minor leagues. He won over 20 games 4 times in a row. Catfish Hunter.
Also known simply as number 29.
You were a good hitter.
It played for Charlie Finley. Well, Charlie Finley is the one that gave me my nickname. When I signed out of high school, Charlie Finley, this is by telephone, said, you got to have a nickname. Says, what do you like to do? I told him honey and fish. So he says, well, when you were 6 years old, you ran away from home and fishing. About 4 o'clock that afternoon, your mom and dad had been looking for you all day. They found you. You caught 2 catfish, was bringing in the 3rd one. Says, now repeat it to me. So that's how I got my nickname, Catfish. You know, today's game, I thought we were lucky. I said we were going to be the only ones to get our game in because the way the weather was changing and everything, and the managers out there was making moves, you know, trying to wait for rain because we were ahead. And Frank says, we might stall, you know, it might rain, we win. But he knew that, you know, Frank had managed, you know, a little bit in the major leagues. He'd been under Earl Weaver. But the opposing manager that we had has never managed, and, you know, he brought the stopper in the 9th inning, walked 5 in a row. He should have knew that to start with. Yeah. You know, we had a great game today. And before I give this Potato Head Award away, I'll tell you this little joke that Dick Williams told about a ball player like Steve Garvey died, went to heaven. Another guy that died, went to heaven at the same time was Pete Rose. 2 ball players at the same time. They get to the pearly gates and St. Peter says, 2 ball players, says, I only got room for 1. He looked at Steve and said, don't worry about it, Steve, you'll be in here. So he said, I'll give you the word Timbuktu. And the best one makes a rhyme, a poem out of it, gets into heaven. He says, all right. So Steve says, St. Pete, I got it. He says, okay, Steve, go ahead. He says, as I walk along yon shore, I ask what man could ask for more. A sailing ship pulled into view, its destination, Timbuktu. He says, Steve, you in there. Pete Rose is over there. You know, Pete Rose is the type of guy that's always going out and messing around. I think he got about 10 times being married and everything. So Pete's thinking, you know, what the heck am I going to say? So all at once he says, St. Pete, I got it. So, okay, Pete, go ahead. He says, Tim and I walking went. We spied 3 maidens in a tent. They were 3, we were 2. I buck 1 and Tim buck 2. The Potato Head Award today for the Sarasota team, we could have picked 4 or 5 guys, but I tell you, the guy that we picked to give it to, he got 2 hits, drove in 2 runs. He caught the game yesterday all day, was catching today, and to score the winning run, the run that really meant anything, he had to let somebody run for him. Walter Benson. Come on in, Walter.
Come, Walter. Thanks. Walk. Walk, can't hear either. Yeah, you get the box, baby. Okay, for the afternoon games. The game that I was in charge of over here on field number 1, I would kind of call that a blowout game. Albuquerque just did not have a very good day today. And as I watched that game, I said to myself, how did they win yesterday? But they did. Ernie's team, that's what. They are now 1-1, and they're still in the race for the pennant. The man I'm going to call up here to present the Potato Head Award, and this is a time that I always get just a little bit sentimental about these fellas. And the fellas that I'm going to call on Terry Reynolds to do the job for us. He's one of our young coaches. But every good organization in baseball, first of all, has a outstanding scouting department. They go out and hunt for these ball players. But the second thing that you must have in a good organization are a bunch of young instructors who know baseball. And these guys that I'm going to introduce tonight, and I want them all to stand up, are loyal, they're dedicated to the Dodgers, they know baseball. I'm with them all the time. I know what they're capable of doing. These are the young coaches that are in each club, and I'd like to have Joe Alvarez. Is John here? John Alvarez. Leo Posada. Chico Fernandez. Dennis Llewellyn. And John Shoemaker is not here. He lives in Vero Beach. He'll be here tomorrow night. But these guys, they do an outstanding job for the Dodgers. And the man that I'm calling up here to present the Potato Head Award for Albuquerque is a man who is also along that same mold. He's an outstanding instructor. He does a good job. He's the winning manager of our Albuquerque Dukes Baseball Club, Terry Reynolds. Terry who? Terry, wait a minute. No, I did that on purpose because this is the cute little dude. The cute little dude walked out on me. Terry Collins, the cute little dude. Starting to get a little low. Okay, thank you very much.
Yeah, I know. It's when you're in Vero Beach and Terry Reynolds is here, and I mean, I've been with Guy Wellman for 15 years. I've been with some of these other guys for 15 years. They call me Terry Reynolds all the time. So you just learned that nobody's called me the cute little dude till this year, though. That's the first time. Wait a minute. Glenn Burke only called me that one time. He just called me just once. That was the last day we roomed together. I didn't room with him anymore. Well, you know, we did have a great year in Albuquerque this past year. We won a championship after 3 tough years. And in 1984, we were playing one night, and I had a player come up to me during the ball game, and he said, "I can't play anymore. I don't want to play anymore." I said, "What do you mean you don't want to play anymore?" He said, "I don't really care about playing anymore." And I said, "We haven't got any more players." It didn't bother him. He said, "I don't want to play anymore." And tonight the score was about 25-2 or 25-3. We were getting beat. So today was very typical. I was used to that. Lou was not used to getting beat that bad. I have been beaten that bad a couple of times. It was tough, though. In about the 8th inning, Lou comes to me and he goes, "We got to give a Potato Head Award tonight." And I said, "I know it." He said, "What do you think we ought to do?" And I said, "Well, the team has voted. They might be voting you to have to watch this for 9 innings, to be out there and jog all the way to coach third base every inning. That's who might win it." But we did have one guy we felt did a good job today. Got, I think, our only 2 RBIs. Got a big double, drove in 2 runs. Did a good job at third base. Played very well yesterday again. Dan Meister. Congratulations, man. Thanks. Appreciate it. Okay. Way to go, little dude. Way to go.
Now wait a minute. Let's correct that. It's not little dude. It's cute little dude. I might also say that Terry, I go around to the minor leagues and just to show you how baseball can change. The year before, Terry was the big winner this year. He was the king of Albuquerque. The year before, when we were in Albuquerque, I used to go there and there were about 100 people setting up in the stands with sacks over their head. They didn't know who they wanted to cheer for. So it can change. All right, for the winning Warren Spahn Bakersfield team. Wait a minute. Go ahead. There seems to be quite a bit of animosity there, Warren.
Eat your heart out.
To present the award, this guy was one of the most fierce competitors who ever walked on the so-called Hill of Thrills. A lifetime record of 251 wins with 174 losses, 2.91 ERA over 17 seasons with the St. Louis Cardinals. Bob Gibson.
Thank you, Guy. I don't know why you had to bring up the losses. We've had a problem since we've been down here. I don't understand it. Everybody's mad at us and they all hate us. But just for the record, I want everybody to get a look at these monsters. Would our team please stand up so they can all see them? Now, I just want to congratulate our staff. First of all, the manager, Warren Spahn. Warren? Jose, Joe Alvarez, I don't know where he is. Is he still here?
John Alvarez.
I'm sorry, John. Yeah, John. We did an outstanding job when we had our draft in there. Everybody laughed at us, and they didn't think we knew what we were doing, and we absolutely knew what we were doing. You know, I was listening to the speeches yesterday, and I was really impressed with Lou Brock and Billy Williams when they were telling us about the square the pitcher threw, and Lou was telling me about guys hitting here. We scored 29 runs, and nobody hit there, and nobody looked for. We had guys swinging up, and nobody was looking out of here. I mean, they were looking right there. I loved it when Harmon said, "Let's just keep this thing simple, stupid. You catch the ball right here and you just knock the shit out of it." And that's what we did. We had, and for those of you that don't know, we scored 29 runs, and we had a terrific day today. Everybody contributed, and I was sitting at the table, and Warren Spahn says, "Why does everybody hate me? And why is everybody mad at me?" And a perfect example of why, when we had a meeting after our game, and we went over to the side, and Warren says, "You know, I'm trying to decide who to give the Potato Head Award." He says, "The only thing I can come up with is the opposition's catcher." And that's why they hate Warren Spahn. But we did come up with a guy. We came up with a guy. I know it was very difficult when you score that many runs. It got to the point where Warren and I just got tired of going out to third base, and so we sat down for 3 innings and we didn't score. And then what's the name of that team? Albuquerque or somebody. They came back and they scored like 2 or 3 runs, and finally Warren and I decided to go back out, and we scored another 5 or 6 just to make sure that they didn't catch us. But it was very difficult to select the Potato Head winner, but we finally got to it. We had a guy, and of course this was our #1 selection in the draft. He pitched 4 scoreless innings. 4. He only pitched 4. And he gave up 1 hit. He went 2 for 5. Got a double, triple. He threw the ball 97 plus miles an hour. And I mean, he was terrific. And we're just living for the day that we can play the championship game. We know we're going to play the champ, and that's what we're looking forward to. And we'll be there, and hopefully we'll play Frank Robinson's team, because I want to see, you know, if his team, when he's teaching them to swing up and hit those home runs that kill the rally, if it's going to beat us. At any rate, we're going to give the award to Steve Taylor.
I want to say my congratulations to Steve Taylor, but I also think the turning point in the game today, when Bob Gibson came to me and says, "Keep it simple, stupid."
The other afternoon game, I didn't get to see. Duke was over there. He had the privilege of watching that game. It lasted a long while, but it must have been a very well-played game. There was only 2 runs difference. But Robin, you win tomorrow. You win tomorrow. I know you told me this many times. You win tomorrow, you're 1 win, 2 losses. No! Ooh! Francis, you didn't hear that. But presenting. All I was going to say, Robin, was that you just need a break or 2 and you're going to be all right.
I got a bad club. I made a bad draft.
Hey, but guy, they are nice people. They are a nice group.
And we got a lot of financial success in these guys. They better be.
Okay. To present the Potato Head Award for this team, you heard him talk here last night about hitting the home runs and also his strikeouts, but just a couple little things from the bio. He played 22 years with Washington and Minnesota. He tied or led in home runs 6 times, hitting more than 40 on 8 occasions. Harmon Killebrew.
Thank you, Guy. That's right. Right, Robbie. You know, this is my 3rd year here, as Guy knows, and I looked at all the managers before I came down here, and I've been in baseball a long time, and one of the most astute people that I know in baseball, and a guy that I admire very, very much, was Robin Roberts. Was.
What? I kind of go along with that, but I don't.
Last year he won this championship, as you know, and I thought, you know, if I want to be on a winner, I'm going to be with Robin Roberts. Yeah. And I thought surely that Robin would do a good job in drafting his players. So I asked, as you know, Guy, to be with Robin, and well, things didn't turn out very well. Yesterday we didn't do very well, but I want to say that we have an outstanding coach on our ball club, and Chico Fernandez, who did a great job. We lost yesterday, and not by a very good score. We were losers 11-2, and today Chico worked with our players after the game yesterday, and we came back today, and in the bottom of the 9th inning, with 2 out, bases loaded, we were behind 16-14. And Chico, you did an outstanding job with our players, and it was a difficult job, as you know, to determine who was our potato head winner. You and I and Robin got together, and we had some guys that I think had an outstanding day. But our potato head winner is Joe Martinez, who did an outstanding job of throwing strikes today. Joe, where are you?
Robin, I knew what you said to me just a little bit ago, and I would think after winning last year that your sportsmanship would be just a little bit better than... No, I don't want to look again. I don't want to see it again, Robin. For the winning club, the San Antonio club, I want to say this. Hoyt Wilhelm, the manager, came to me today and he says, Guy, who the hell is my coach? I said, let me look it up. I looked it up and it was Ernie Banks. I said, Hoyt, it's Ernie Banks. He said, I haven't seen him for 2 days. He's either been in the stands politicking, shaking hands, or just being a big ambassador up there. But let me say this. For 19 years, and I grew up in Chicago. Before I became a Dodger, I was a Chicago Cub fan for many years. This guy, for 19 years, satisfied and pleased the Chicago Cub fans, not only with his hitting, but with his fielding. And he was just a great ambassador of baseball. Ernie Banks. How do you feel?
Great. Thank you, Guy, for the fine introduction. Those of you who have known me for a good many years realize. Let me start over. Those of you who've known me for many years as a professional baseball player know that I am a very strange person. Right, Bob?
Absolutely.
Truthfully, I never felt that it took great pitching, fielding, or hitting to be successful in professional baseball. It does not take a great leader to be successful in professional baseball, because a professional team cannot expand beyond the capabilities of his leader. Does that make sense?
I'm not sure Ernie said.
Does that make sense?
That made sense to me. I got it so far.
Use the mic.
What did you say?
What did he say?
I said, okay,
Run it by me one more time.
one more time. Now listen, I've always felt that a professional team who was successful never could expand beyond the capabilities of their leader. Get it?
I think they got that.
The leadership, okay, the leadership has a lot to do with the success of the team. The leader. Okay, today, San Antonio, to me, was a group of young men, 14 of them, who had no doubt in their minds that they were not going to win this game. They had no doubt. I mean, it was like all the way from beginning to end that they were going to win the game. Now listen to this here. If you have any doubt in your mind about anything, just a little bit of doubt, it spreads and spreads and spreads, and nothing happens. These 14 young men just went out there and continued to play. They got behind. They got ahead. They got behind again. They got ahead. Ned Price came in. He said, I'll pitch. He went out. Then Art came in. He said, I'll pitch. So we went back and forth. But all along in their minds, they felt that we're going to win the game. So overall, our Potato Head Award goes to a young man who suffered adversity. He broke his leg last year and had many different kinds of problems getting started. He had a tough time hitting the ball and all that. But he came back, and that's what sports is all about. It's what life is all about, coming back. So he came back. So we got together, our coaching staff and our manager, and decided that this young man deserved our Potato Head Award tonight. And he is, and all of you know him, he's a remarkable person. If you don't know him, get a chance to say hello to him and talk to him, because he has a lot to share with all of us. And basically, we're blessed to even have him in our presence. So our Potato Head Award goes to Peter Patron.
Thank you, Ernie.
Mr. Buck, let me say a few words. Listen to Peter.
Well, first of all, I'd like to thank my mother and my father for this award. Never won anything before in my life. And I want to thank Ernie Banks and Hoyt Wilhelm and Dennis Llewellyn for really helping me. Isn't that how you pronounce his name?
That's all right. That's on that court. You know
Anyway, you know who I'm talking about. I just want to thank those guys for helping me. The Duke helped me today, too, in learning how to hit a little bit, and it paid off. And thank you very much. I'm having a terrific time.
I got to ask Billy Williams a question. How long did you play with Ernie?
I've played with Ernie for 11 years.
Did you understand anything that he said at all?
Every time I hit the field, the opposing team will say, "Did you like this every day?" I would tell them yes. I was like that every day, but I got a joy out of playing with the most inspirational guy I've ever met.
Just stay the same way, Ernie Banks. And I know you will. Oh, wasn't that sweet? Ah. Did you see that, Francis? Okay. That took care of the games today. Now I would like to introduce, first of all, and I've said this many, many times, he's one of baseball's greatest catchers. I'll just read you, if you haven't had a chance to read this from his bio, holds a major league record for most home runs in a season by a catcher, most RBIs by a catcher, caught 100 or more games 9 straight seasons. Try to get a catcher to do that these years. Led all catchers in fielding chances 6 times. The National League's most valuable player 51, 53, 55. Roy Campanella. I'm gonna get out of here before you run over me, right? I won't run.
You got your driver's license? Don't run over somebody.
Get spun.
Thank you, guys.
What do you think of Ernie?
What do you think of Ernie?
Said that. What do I think of Ernie? Let me tell you. We were playing the Cubs one day in Chicago. Ernie was hitting. And when the Cubs had knocked down Jackie Robinson, when Ernie come to bat, Newcomb said, "I'm going to get you." I told Ernie, "Be ready." He means it. And why would he want to throw it big? You'll see. I know Ernie remembers. Boy, Nuke didn't tip, so Nuke could bring it too. And buddy, when he brought one here, you know, you didn't get thrown out the games in those years for throwing at somebody. And we did not have any helmets. You better be able to duck. Well, Ernie being the best hitter on the Cubs, you don't throw it to Humpty Dumptys. You throw it to the best hitter. You know, that stops all of that. Cubs had a pretty good pitcher, Bob Rush. He could bring it. But he always wanted to knock somebody else down. But our manager, between Leo DeRocher and Charlie Drysdale, Boy, they were the retaliating batters you've ever played for. Don't throw it nobody. This is true. You know, being one of the only catchers in the group, it is something behind home plate to talk to the hitter. Be back there with the umpire and just talk to him, not turn around in his face.
You lied a lot, too.
You have the opportunity to catch all these all-star games and catch fellas like Spahn, Roberts, Wilham. Look, Roberts pitched an all-star game in Detroit. Now, I had batted against this man, but I never had caught him. I said, I'm going to warm this man up today. He's not going to get out there on that mound and show me up. So I did. I warmed him up. He said, I'm going to throw my fastball. Threw his fastball moved that much. Now, that's 2 foot. I said, I thought you was going to throw your fastball. He said, that is my fastball. I said, no. Now, I've seen something different than that. I said, well, I twist with it a little. I said, yeah, when you twist, and I go for that fastball this out here, that might be by me. Now, we're playing this all-star game in the American League in Detroit. So I said, Bob, you can't throw that on the fastball side. Said he'd been throwing it. So I said, well, let's throw it on a slider side. Okay. But Robbie had good control. If you would go low outside, he would get it there. I don't care what it was, but he'd get it there. But it just pays and shows you have to know what that pitcher's doing out there. All those statistics is one thing, but boy, communicating with that pitcher, that's more than, in my opinion, 75% of the ball game. I always try to communicate. Make my pitcher feel like he was the best pitcher in the world. You know, out on that mound is a little lonely. Everybody else, take your first baseman, he can talk to the coach, the umpire. The second baseman can talk to the shortstop and the umpire. The third baseman, the coach, and the umpire. Pardon me. The catcher can talk to the umpire, the batter, but that poor pitcher can't talk to nobody. So I get my butt out there and talk to him. You know, it gets lonely out there sometimes. I've seen the pitcher get so upset, I hadn't even given him a sign. He was ready to pitch. So what happened? He was upset. I said, what are you going to throw? I was going to throw a ball. This is in the big leagues. So go out there and talk to him. I tried to tell our catchers, that's the main communication point of the game. When you can get that pitcher to feel that he has somebody with him instead of being out there alone. I was proud to catch Drysdale's first game. I caught Wilham in an all-star game too. I felt a little weird about that knuckleball. with those gloves we had to catch with, they didn't have no knuckleball gloves then. But I always had a theory within myself. If you keep the ball in front of you, it can't go through you. You might miss it, but it'll hit me. And I didn't reach out for it. I let it come to me. He had a good knuckleball. A good one. Charlie Dresden was our manager. We had played the Giants, with the Giants there. You know, he told us never to swing at his knuckleball until he get 2 strikes on it. You got to be a pretty good hitter, you know, to take 2 strikes. You always save that one to last. This is Charlie Dresden. And you try to catch Hoyt to throw that little slider, or if he gets behind to throw that slider or that fastball, and Katie barred the door. But the catcher has to know all of this. Catching is simple, but you have to like it. They say the tool of ignorance. It's no ignorance back there. And you're not foolish being a catcher. The majority of major league clubs carry 3. But we got 5 with 2. Although Hodges was a catcher, but they made a great first baseman out of him. So we always had the third catcher playing first base. This is so important to a ball club. I try to strip. You can hit all you want. You can hit the ball out the ballpark. You know, Ralph Conner never beat the Dodgers the ball game. I wasn't going to let him beat him. Let that next guy hit it over the fence. I would throw him some pitches he had never seen before. At him, away from him, in the dirt, up under his chin. Just hit it there. How you going to let Conner beat you, and there's a couple fellas behind him can't hit the ball over the fence if they hit it twice? This is true now. We're playing in Cincinnati one night, and we got into a tie game. Well, Kluszewski was the best hitter over there. Well, Cincinnati had screwed up their lineup that night, that they had Johnny Temple batting behind Kluszewski. That's a tie game. We had a relief pitcher by the name of Jim Hughes. 2 outs. Look, I go out and tell Jim, I said, look, we're not giving Kluszewski anything good to hit. I said, if he wants to hit it, let him swing the fastball about 2 foot away from it. The first pitch, right down the middle of the plate, Kluszewski hits it up in that sundeck in right field, and we lost the ball game. I made a beeline to the pitcher man. I said, Jim, what in the hell happened to you? Said, I wanted to see if he could hit my spinner. I said, I guess he showed me. This is the God's honest truth. You made the league, and Austin seen me run to the mound. He knew it was something. So here he comes behind me. I always try to protect my pitcher against the manager. I wanted to keep the pitcher happy. So Austin asked me, Campy, what did he do? I said, oh, nothing, it's over now. Another day in the Polo Grounds, Billy Lowe's was pitching. Now, he's a real dandy. Dresden had told me not to let him throw a slider. So I'd give him a fastball. Curveball, no. I wouldn't give him no slider. I'd go back to a fastball. Slide, curveball. Now, he kept saying this. I said, I called time. I went out there, I said, Billy, what do you want to throw? A slider. I said, what did Dresden tell me? You know it. You let me throw it. Don't worry about it. You know, the one thing, you have to go along with the manager, too. Now, the pitcher's my best friend. I'm trying to communicate with him. You know what I told him? I said, okay, now, we have to get the slider low and away. Because if this guy hits a slider, Dresden's not worried about Billy Lowe. He's going to come to me. So I said, okay, go ahead and throw the slider. Thank God he got away with it. But it made him happy. Billy Lowe. He was a pretty good pitcher. It just goes to show you trying to get that pitcher to communicate with you. And the manager, Drysdale and DeRozier, Austin too, boy, they wanted everything done through the catcher. Every pitch. Now the catcher had to be a mind reader. 1 out of 10 pitches the manager wanted to call, the other 9 you had to call. But you better call the pitch he's thinking about. Now figure it out. This is true. You know, we played the Cardinals one night in St. Louis. The Cardinals had a fellow by the name of Nippy Jones playing first base. I think he went 5 for 5 that night. So after the game, as we come off the field, he had a meeting. Said, I want everybody to bring their stools right over here around the lot. Campanella, you get in the middle. What did Nippy Jones hit the first time up? I tried to tell him. What did he hit the second time up? I told him. What did he hit the third time up? I told him. When he got to the fourth time, I told him I forgot. What did I say that for? Oh, he hit sky high. You make too much money to forget. Well, I make too much money to forget. Don't talk back. Look, you know, between those 3 minutes I told you, everything is the catcher. You are the one to get called to the middle of the circle. I got called in there another day. We played the Yankees in the World Series. Dressing thought the Yankees were getting our sign, getting my sign. So after the game, he had a meeting. Campanella, how do you give your curveball? I showed him. Now he's over here trying to look in front of me if my fingers are down too low. He could see him. Or the whole team around me now. I'm in the middle of the circle. How you give your fastball? How you give this? How you give this? So he kept on saying how you give it to me. I told him I stick my finger up my butt. I'll never forget that. I didn't do that anymore. But catching is a dance. Look, it's always something. You know, we're playing the Giants again. Billy Lowe's pitching. I give him. Now, Mays used to love to run. In a close ball game, he was going to run. So I give Lowe's a pitch out. Yeah. He comes to the ball. Fastball in the middle of the plate. So I called Tom and I run out there. I said, Billy, I give you a pitch out. Said, you did? Go back there and give it to me again. Now, you wouldn't believe this. This is in the big league. Look, I got thrown out of 2 baseball games. One against the Giants and one against the Braves up in Boston. In my career. Somebody hit a foul fly. I went over to the stands and caught it at every speed. Here's Augie Donatelli, the umpire, right behind. I caught them all and come out and throw it around him. He said, you did not catch that ball. I said, well, what the hell did I do? He said, you took it out of that fan's hand. I said, you must be blind. Out the ball game. But he told me I had taken that ball out the fan's hand. I said, that old man couldn't have caught a ball. And he couldn't. How can you go there and take a fly ball and you take it out of somebody? Okay, we're playing in Boston. You heard about this home run around the world that Bobby Thompson did? We were battling with the Giants and they were winning and we were halfway winning. This is the last week of the season. We got a 1 or 2 game lead. And we played up in Boston. And late in the game, there's a play at home plate. Now, this was out the time run on winning. I know I had the man out so far, I got down on my knees. I just said to myself, you're going to have to run over me. You can't slide through me. Frank, that scolding was the umpire. And called that man safe. I couldn't believe it. I threw my glove up in there. He said, when it comes down, you're out the game. He called the man safe. Now, in the ninth inning, I would have been through the hit with the bases loaded and 1 out, and the Braves had a little left-hander pitching. What was his name, Spud?
I'm trying to think.
Orange Spud? Orange Spud, yeah. There was another lefty one.
Bert Bickford.
No, he's right.
His name was Nichols.
No.
Chet Nichols? That's got to be a relief pitcher, right?
No, he was a starter, left-hander. Well, anyhow, I believed I could have burned his butt up there. I said, well, I did. I just believed it. And they had to have hitter in my spot. No.
All right.
Wayne Terwilliger. And he hits into a double play. Now, those 2 times I got put out the ball game, that taught me a lesson. It did. Look, when you get that important in your lineup, you don't get put out of ball games. Mike United will just walk away from that umpire. But I think that cost us a pennant right there. Because we lost that ball game. And I didn't believe he was going to get me out that inning. Chet Nichols.
Well, he's a starter, yeah.
Chet Nichols. Chet Nichols.
He's a bank president now.
That's what he should have been. But I'll never forget that. And what? Catching is the most interesting position. You never get lonely. You know, you get on the umpires back there. I never did. If I did, I was looking at the pitcher. Now, I'd tell him, I think you missed the ball. But I was a 2-hand catcher. And I could shift 1 foot, I'd drag it along. He couldn't see me moving. But I'd catch that ball in the center of my body. From the outside corner to the inside corner. But I'd gradually move over and move here. I'd catch the ball 2 hands. Today, you catch these 1-hand catchers and 2 in this. They're moving their hand 2 foot. You don't get these strikes. You catch it 2 hands and hold it there. You're kind of helping the umpire a little. You can help it. Look, but pitchers like Preacher Rowe, Don Newcomb, Robin Roberts, Sponny, Drysdale as a young pitcher, I caught his first game. He could bring it, and his ball was moving. Moving. His fastball could move 2 foot. All I had to do with him, remind him to keep his arm up here instead of dropping it down there. Every now and then. Because it would make his curveball too flat. Throw it from up here. Boy, he was tough all the way. In that all-star game in Detroit that Robert started, they had some pitchers backing him up. Only 3 of them they used that time in the all-star. Each of them pitched 3 innings. Roberts, Newcomb, and Yule Blackwell. Blackwell was another one. He didn't throw nothing straight. And he was a little mean. When I say mean, buddy, he could bring that ball right here. And he could hit that outside corner on you too. Sal Magley, Larry Jansen, You know, the average team back in those days had some real good pitchers that could throw strikes, and that ball is thrown 3 to 4 inches off the plate. That's a strike. That's a strike. They say the plate's 17 inches wide, make it 20 inches wide. And catch that ball in the middle of your body, and it's a strike. You make it look so good. But the catcher today, he wants to swing and sway with Sammy K. But that's what the one-hand glove. Look, Johnny Bench's the best one-hand glove catcher they had. Well, that's Johnny Bench. There's not too many Johnny Benches around. Because to throw, you got to go to get it anyhow. And you get in front of that ball and be thrown all at the same time. Okay, there's one catcher today that catches like this, Bob Boone. He has the best percentage record in throwing runners out. And he throws as soft as anybody he wants to, but he throws quick. He has a quick release. And these guys with these guns today, no mention now, Luke Rockford, all these stolen bases. God hasn't made the man yet that can outrun a baseball. Not one. And you wonder, how are these guys doing all these things? Number one, from the pitcher, and number two, the catcher can't throw. And you got 140 stolen bases. This is true. If a catcher could pick out a mark and get that ball away from and hit the shortstop or second baseman at his knee every time. You know, we even used to have throwing contests where they would lay a barrel down on second base. And you'd have to see how many out of 10 throws, how many throws would go in that barrel. Go in the barrel. Not up here, not there, in the barrel. Boy, I'd like to see some of these catchers today try to hit it. No, I mean, there's nothing against them, but it just takes practice. They can't control the ball from home plate to second. Some of the outfielders can't control it from the outfield to home plate. You can sit and watch pregame practice and look at every outfielder throw. That's how you judge these fellas that can run. If they sit down and watch the other team, you learn everything in practice, just from watching. You know, the Dodgers were the first team that had a statistician. You know, before every series, Alan Roth was his name. He had a book. I had to sit down and have a meeting with him the beginning of every series. He had every player listed, had every one of our pitchers listed, how he pitches to it, and his average against them. And you know, this is an eye-opener. We're going to play the Cubs, and here's somebody on the Cubs is hitting one of our pitchers better than Banks. Now, I'm pitching him wrong. That's the first thing stands out in my mind. We're going to change our way of pitching to him. But today, I doubt if a team has a statistician. Not one. You see the pitchers charting courses the next day. That's not like this. That statistician can sit down and go over the hitters with the catcher, and he can get it hit. I mean, everybody on the team. Look, catching is a defensive position. Thank God I could hit him. I didn't get cheated. And I didn't go up there wondering about holding my bat this way, that way, or anyway. When that fastball would come over that plate, I wasn't taking it. You know, the first thing I would talk about is, don't let that pitcher get away throwing a fastball. Not over that plate. Make him throw strikes. You can adjust to the other thing. I didn't think, you know, they write books about hitting. I think it's very misleading. Because nobody can help you up at home plate. Nobody can't hit that ball. You're not going to hit it. And you can't ask for any assistance. When one of them young fellas out there is bringing about 95 miles an hour, but the ball gets up to, they say, the third of a second, and you're going to take it. You know, all good hitters are good fastball hitters. Good fastball hitter. That's the pitch you miss with the middle. You just miss with the middle. That's all. And if you ever get him to chase that pitch, 6 inches outside, 6 inches inside. Okay, statistician again. Check the majority pitches a pitcher throws during a ball game. You know, 60 to 75% is fastballs. Only one pitcher I ever played against very more than that, Sal Maggie. Looked like every time he got back here was a curve. But still, it's tough to walk up to home plate and look for a curveball. One night we were playing the Giants in Evans Field. Jim Hearn was pitching for the Giants, pitching a heck of a ball game. Had us beat 2-1 in the 9th inning with 2 outs. Jackie Robinson come, he hit a ground ball to Alvin Dark at shortstop, and he booed it. I was the next hitter. Charlie Dresden, our manager, was coaching third base. He called me. I met him halfway. He said, Camp, you know Hearn's not going to throw you a fastball on the first pitch. Look for that curveball, and if it's where you like, hit it. He threw me a curveball, and thank God I hit it. It was up in them seats. He lost that ball game in 2 pitches. The one that Jackie grounded the shortstop, they booed, and the first curveball they threw me. Now I wasn't no look for no curveball on the first pitch until the manager called me and said, look for that curveball on the first. But he convinced me. Now if he'd have threw a fastball up under my neck, I'd got one stuck right in my ear. This is true. And speaking of that, one of the Cub pitchers one day stuck one right in my ear. My ear, but I can't hear it now. I'm telling you, but I lost that ball in Wrigley Field. It's easy part to lose one. I don't think they let people sit out there instead of field anymore. With all them white shirts and things and stuff, you can't follow ball. And you're talking about day ball. You need some night ball out there to see. Okay, that's all right, Ernie. We'll play 2 today. Thanks a lot. You know one thing, I played so much baseball. It was a long time before I ever got in the big league, and I played in every country that ever played baseball. I couldn't play no place else. But I was fortunate enough to play in all these islands and see fellows from the big league going to these islands and play. I said, how could you possibly leave the big league when players was jumping to play in Mexico? I said, how could you jump the big leagues to play in these kind of leagues? Here we wish we could get in the big leagues. So we make more money. And this was true. They had a Mexican down there with giving away pesos. George Pascal. Well, Sal Magley was there. Max Lanier was there. The Cardinals had another pitcher by the name of White. Danny Gardella was down there. Louis Almo from the Dodgers was there. Mickey Owen from the Dodgers was there. You know, it's surprising to see all these Major League ball players playing in the Mexican League. Well, look, knows now the field is not in bad shape. You should have seen some of them fields in Mexico. Tampico got the train tracks running through the outfield. A train would come in right field and go out left field. That's doggone the truth. You got to hold up the ball game. And you even got big league ball players, some of the big leagues, they go down here and play. This is true, but that's how the big league has grown from these little things to what it is today, where a player could play in the big leagues and make $3,000 a season. When they started this pension plan, that's what it started out as, a pension plan. But now you can't play 10 games in a row without having a day off. They wanted a water cooler that didn't have water and had Coca-Cola in it. Out of some of the most silliest things you ever heard of. The main thing was that pension. And the pension plan is wonderful. Baseball has the best pension plan of any of the sports. Look, Ernie, I'm not going to take no more of your time, because I want to get over here and get my dictionary and try to keep up with some of the words. Ernie, you could swing like that, and you were my shortstop till they made a first baseman out of you. Oh, you can't be short.
Come back here.
I'll keep you company.
What my friend Roy is really saying is that, what is he really saying? He's saying that to be a winner, you really have to love what you're doing. We met 38 years ago and right here in Florida with the Jackie Robinson All-Stars. And I was just starting out as a young man in professional baseball, and Roy was in the major leagues, played in the World Series. And when you believe that Roy came up to me and said, Ernie, would you like a ride over to Winston-Salem with us? He got in his nice Chevy and drove me to Winston-Salem. And I'm sure all of you experienced this too, where you're a young person and you're with a major league player who just played in the World Series. They give you a ride to another city. I mean, I was like in awe. I mean, really in awe to be with an outstanding professional baseball player. Roy Campanella is truly a remarkable individual. I hope all of you get a chance to be around him and see him and to share his experience that he has had, not only in life, but in professional baseball. He knows people, he knows the game extremely well. I mean, he just have a great feeling for baseball and people. Today, an example, Ned Price was warming up on the side. I had him throwing. He hasn't pitched in his young life. I said, I never pitch. I said, well, we need you today. So he's over there throwing. So Roy came over. I said, Roy, would you talk to Ned Price about pitching? So Ned Price throws a knuckleball, a slider, a screwball, a forkball. And for those ladies who understand all this, it's a lot of different kinds of pitches. So Roy looked at him and said, tell him what you said, Roy.
You're talking, Ernie.
No, I
Go ahead, you can explain it.
No, he said, listen, Ned, just throw one pitch and get it over the plate. If it's the fastball, throw the fastball. So Ned got up there and he started throwing to the strings, and he just threw fastballs and fastballs. He said, Dad, throw 10 fastballs for a strike. And he did that. So the day Ned went out, and in the crucial parts of the game, while we had the bases loaded and nobody out, he came through and threw the strikes. So this is just one example how this man can pass on information that you can cling to. It's not like some of us. Some of us, our information is kind of slide over your head. But Roy can say something, you really listen to all the words to it. And Ned was listening with great intent. And when he got in the game, he executed that. So this man has so much to offer all of us. And I feel that I was truly blessed to have played in the same league with Roy Campanella. Another example, in 1956, playing in Brooklyn, New York, I used to do this. I told you all I was crazy, didn't I, Bob? I used to play. You all know that. I said that. We played the Dodgers, and I called up. I went out early, and I said, Roy, what are you doing later on after the game? And Roy was warming up. He said, well, nothing. I'd like to come by the house for dinner. And I thought he was going to turn me down. He said, oh, sure. And I said, wow. And then he told me, meet me after the game, and, you know, I'll take you by. And he did that. He took me to his home for dinner. Now, think about this. I'm going into Roy Campanella's home and to see all his most valuable player awards and just to be with him. And I was just a kid, and I just felt so elated over the fact that I was spending time with him. And he didn't talk about baseball. He talked mostly about relationships with people. That is the real key to our camp. Lifting up people, that's really what he talks about a lot. Raising people up. And Roy said one thing to me then. This was 25 years ago. I'm not embarrassing you. Roy told me 25 years ago, when you see people, you look at them and you visualize a sign on their chest that says, make me happy, make me feel good. And that's what he does. It's tremendous. Do you all really know Roy Campanella? He makes everybody, he lifts people up and make them feel good. You heard him talk about many of the players that he caught, played against. Never once he put them down. He always said they had certain great qualities in life, and that's remarkable. What I want to ask Roy and all of you, there's only 3 of us, maybe 2 of us here tonight that did not play on a winning team. Me and Billy, and I believe, Port Wilhelm, you were in the World Series, weren't you? Yeah, was it? Last year was 1. Now, Billy, I'm glad you came. I'm really. So it's only 2 of us here that have never been on a winning team, never been in a winning situation. So I want to ask the other 10 of you, including Roy, the question. Think about this. Can you win without sinning? Now hold it a minute, hold it. Hold it a minute. Think about this now. Think about it. Please, think about it, Manny. Think about the question. Can you win without sinning?
Say it again, Ernie.
Les, think about this. Les from Syracuse. Syracuse won last year. They were in the Rose Bowl, the Super Bowl, the Orange Bowl. Can you win without sinning?
Ernie, we
now,
can't live without sinning.
Well, I know we covered a little bit of it in our games here, you know, about running with pass balls, using the aluminum bats, and then I focus on professional sports. What advantage do teams have when they win? Do they steal signs? I wonder about this about the Dodgers. We played the Dodgers, Frank, and you played in Ebbsfield just about 1 year. You go in and play the Dodgers, guaranteed they will hit 5 home runs. You can set your watch that Duke Snyder going to hit 1 home run. You play the Dodgers in Brooklyn at Ebbsfield. And I'm sure there's a lot of you that's born and raised in Brooklyn, New York. And I always wanted to know this. Did the Dodgers get the signs from center field to know what the pitchers were throwing, Roy?
No.
Roy. Can you sin without winning? Yes, you can do that. Easily. Billy, I'm gonna need your help on this. Did they? Huh? You can't have coaches. I always thought this, Robin.
I'll go with you. What do you got?
Like Leo DeRocher, and I'm not knocking him. Leo DeRocher was an expert in getting signs from the catcher. That
I get them from the pitcher.
you get him from.
Ernie,
Wait a minute.
why were those funny lights blinking in the scoreboard in center field in Chicago?
Yeah, we were accused of that, Billy, and I guess a few years that we were getting the sign. Do you understand what we're talking about?
Are you getting them, Ernie?
That you can get signs from the catcher that relate to the batter.
When you got the signs, Ernie?
You still beat your wife.
Wait a minute, wait. Adcock was what? Get the signs and
I want to know about you.
get the
Those
sign.
Funny blinking lights
And
that
the
never
blinking
blinked
lights.
when we were hitting.
Well, Frank know about this too. Is that you really? I mean, to get in on that, you have to be kind of one of the boys, you know. Before you got to be one of the good old boys on the team to know all the inside secrets. So did that happen, Roy? I mean, I wondered about the Dodgers were like, during my period in professional baseball, were the dominant National League team, and there was another team that played in New York, what was the name of that team in New York? There was another team, the Yankees, yeah. The Yankees were the other team. And New York was the American League team. But other than that, huh?
You in the National League. You didn't get to play against them.
No. Never had. Billy, you and I would have loved to play in the fall classes against the... Winning. What's it all about? Winning. What's it all about, Robin? What's it all about, Duke? Winning.
Ernie, did you ever...
Winning. What's it all about?
You ever answer Warren's
Question? No, I didn't.
You know, in the scoreboard there in Chicago, where they used to have a couple of holes out in that scoreboard, and you'd always see somebody's legs in there, or you wouldn't see... Now, what was that all about?
Well, truthfully, we tried that. We figured that the Cubs, listen, you guys are young now. The Cubs had not won the pennant since 1945.
We all know that.
So toward the twilight of my career, the end, I was just hoping that some way that we could have an advantage over the opposition. So there were times when we got partial signs, but it didn't work, Frank. It just didn't work.
That's not sitting when it don't work.
It just,
That's not sitting if it doesn't work.
Ernie, I got to ask you another question. I was a rookie in 1959, and our manager, Solly Hemus, sent me out into the stands in center field. You guys had an exit light, a light over the exit on the left center field side of the outfield, and the light used to blink on and off all the time. And I went out one day and I took a towel and put over that exit, and the guy kicked me out of the ballpark.
That's true. That's a true story. We did have a light out there. Lou was there then.
Yeah, they kicked me out.
Bake. No, we did. We did. There were a blinking light out there. And I remember when you went out there and
They kicked me out of the
checked it out.
I
And
didn't get back in. I had to go back to the hotel.
he never got back. Winning. What's it all about? I started with Lou Brock in the early 60s, right after the Pan American Games. He came over and he was a remarkable, remarkable college prospect that played well in the Pan American Games and was signed by the Cubs. And he came over there and he just, in his own mind, felt that, I mean, this is where I want to be, and I'm going to take advantage of this. He tried so hard. Many nights we sat up and talked about hitting, feeling. I said, Lou, as I've told a lot of you here, just relax. The game is easy. Right, Roy? It's easy. Just relax and play it, enjoy it. It's easy. Lou said, relax, what is that? I said, I can't. I got to make it. I got to stay. And he was just trying so hard. And the harder he tried, the tougher it got for him. And finally the Cubs, as you all know the story, said, this kid does not have it. Were they right? And they sent him down to St. Louis. He led them to World Championships about 3 or 4 years in a row. Now, Lou, winning. What does it take to win?
25 good players.
25 good players. But you, 25 good players. What about?
Just three. Bob corrected me, he said take 3.
Take 3 good players. And also, you all probably saw this, Lou Brock holds a record for hits in the World Series. We got 13 hits.
How many else? 12 leg hits. One bad hop hit.
Now, let me tell you about winning with the young man that I spent a good many years with, Billy Williams, number 26. We was playing Houston one day, and most all the team focused their pitching strategy around Billy Williams. They always brought in the left-hander because he's a left-hand hitter. So as they were changing pitchers that day, I was hitting behind Billy. He came over, and we were talking as we were standing there on deck. And Billy said to me, listen, Billy said to me, if I get on, are you going to get me in? So Marjorie knows this. I always answer things pretty quick. I said, yes. But the end of the story is that he hit a double and I hit a single to get him in and to score the run. And in my mind afterwards, I began to say to myself, gosh, what an amazing person. This man he's so predictable that he can do anything he really wants to do at the plate. He knew he was going to get, he said, there's no doubt in my mind that I'm going to hit this left-hander. He had a ringing double off of it. And he just could see and visualize, and most successful people call it live is as if they're already successful. They can really see it. And that's why it was amazing to be with him, because he could really see himself being successful before it happened. Bob, you've done that, have you? You've done.
I don't know. I just try to keep it simple.
No, I saw you in the '68 World Series in St. Louis, strike out 17. And I was sitting there in that stand. I said, gosh, how in the world he do that? It was just like a machine. Did any of you see that? He was just like a machine, ball and throw, and ball and throw, and ball and throw, and ball and throw. I mean, it was just great to see that. It's a really epitome of sports success.
Hey, Ernie, keep talking. I'm starting to understand you.
You still But winning, that's what we really covered now. I've seen Frank Robinson playing a game in Crosley Field, Cincinnati, and he and I was a little bit at the same time in career time. 2 games in a row, the manager decided to pitch to Frank Robinson with 2 outs and a run on second base. I was playing, and those 2 times he won the game. Huh? Bloop single.
Game winner.
And I was just a young man, and first time I ever heard managers arguing and coaches arguing after a game. You can't do that. They were you can't do what? You can't do that. You cannot pitch to Frank Robinson with open base and 2 outs. You can't do it. And the manager was saying, well, he was in a little bit of a slump. Well, nothing. You just can't do that. You don't pitch to Frank Robinson with a base open and 2 men out. Both nights. That was like amazing to me. Winning. That's what really winning is all about. It's the ability to listen to this. Robin, listen to this.
All right, I'm listening, you guys.
Okay. It really is. I mean, Billy and I never experienced it. Ned, where you going? I'm closing. I'm getting close to the end. I'm getting close to the end, and we got. Where's Becker? I'm getting close to the end. Where's Becker? Becker mentioned last night, 50 more hits. White guys get hit 50 more hits and hit 300. Other guys get less than 50 hits. And really, what it is, you know what it is, don't you, Roy?
Yeah.
And Sponny knows it, and Bob Gibson knows it, all the guys know it, and you all have experienced it too. I mean, to really be consistent in professional sports, you have to develop a constant stream of irritants.
Hey, Robert, I'm not sure. I understand him. You do. Great.
But I've seen Killebrew do it. I've seen Hart Wilhelm do it. It's just in situations you want it more than the other person. You really want it. It's inside of you. You got to have it. It belongs to you. You in that bubble. Lou, are you listening to me? You in that bubble. You really. That's right. I've seen Duke Snyder, 1959, hit 2 home runs in the World Series. You want to be there. You feel it belongs to you. You into a bubble. It's nobody there but you, and you want to.
I have a question.
No question.
No, I don't really have this constant stream of irritant. Warren said, is that like getting remarried?
Now, there are two people here that most of the media have misinterpreted their personality. One is Bob Gibson, the other one is Don Drysdale. They always relate to these two young men as knocking people down and or hitting them. They were not that way.
Yes, they were, too.
No, they were not.
Hey, Ernie, they were constant irritants.
They just wanted to do it, yeah. They wanted to do it. On the other hand, you got Robin Roberts, Sandy Koufax. Robin just went out there and just said, I am here. He said, I am here on this mound. I belong here. I am the best.
And I ain't sinned a lot.
And he just came right at you with the fastball. I mean, right at fastball. No. This is closing now. I want all of you to think about this. Think about this here. This is really serious stuff here. This is it. This is it. This is really serious stuff. Question, would you all believe, and I want you to continue to play baseball, would you believe that someday there will be a molecule developed so that it would go inside of our bodies and make us smarter, younger, faster, forever? No. You don't believe that, do you?
I believe, Ernie.
You believe that? You don't believe it. You all continue to play baseball because this is being developed. Molecule that you can't see that creeps inside of your body. And it makes you bigger. Wait a minute. Listen, Warren Spahn, listen. Listen.
You said, what is baseball? And I don't want to hear it.
Listen, I'm closing now. Listen. And I'm going to have... This is very serious stuff, but it will make us live longer, stronger, faster, and smarter. And I'm going to have a young man come up. We talked about this before, who is in this profession and understand what it's all about. Bill, you're going to do it, please. Back me up, because nobody believes me. Nobody ever believes me. Here's Bill. Come here, Bill.
Hey, Bill's Ernie, I believe.
I talked to Ernie for a few minutes in the locker room today about how computers are getting smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller. And someday maybe there'll even be computers in our body. And all of a sudden he started jumping to conclusions like, can they make a computer to bat against left-handed pitchers better? How am I going to get that in my bloodstream? How am I going to get into the World Series? What am I going to do? I want to go back and play. I want to hit home runs again.
That's right.
He just blew it out of proportion completely.
That's it. Good night.
Ernie, Roy, do you know, he said last night to you, would you keep it short, Roy? Huh?
I'd like to say one thing. Real short. One thing, right? I've known Ernie Banks for 3 years, which is less than all the Hall of Famers here, but maybe more than the rest of you. And I have in 3 years decided that I'm the one that's crazy, it's not him. I think Ernie Banks is the reason I'm here a second time, and I mean that.
Robin, would you say goodnight to me one more time?
This guy about the computers, he's hitting us in 2 games.
He hasn't got it yet. He hasn't got it yet. I've got one question to ask. Hoyt, would you answer this for me, please? What is winning?
Before you ask it, I want to put in a requisition.
Yes.
About another 2 tons of ice in the clubhouse tomorrow.
Yeah. Okay.
For who? My team.
Okay, it's been a good night. Thanks to Roy. Thanks to Ernie. Everybody, have a good night. We see you. Okay. Watch you.